Hello everybody, Road Warriors 627 here for another thoroughbred racing preview here on my channel. Today we're going to be discussing the Grade 1 Vosburgh Stakes. Grade 1. It's a Grade 2? No, it's a Grade 1. Everybody shut up. This is a historic race. Won by horses like Go Sapper. You're telling me the race isn't good anymore. So you're telling me that stretch duel in 108 between Firenze Fire and Imperial Hint last year wasn't good. Okay, that wasn't grade 1 quality. Kiss my ass. This is a grade 1 race. That's why I have grade 1 in the thumbnail of this video. Sammy, you're joining me today because, as you know, I'm horrible at handicapping these races alone. How are you doing, buddy?
Can't believe they downgraded this. This is a grade 1 race, not
Yeah,
grade 2.
yeah. You found this out what about 5 minutes ago?
Now, well, I thought I heard something about the Vosburgh being downgraded, but I didn't know if it was certain. But it's one of the most historic sprint races in the country, let alone in the world. And they're just going to downgrade it after,
They
especially after that stretch duel last year. That was
the
incredible.
the American Graded Stakes Committee is now on my horse racing shit list, and the Breeders' Cup and the American Graded Stakes Committee have been taking these Belmont Fall Championship meet races and been absolutely destroying them the last few years. It's been disgusting. They don't think they're important anymore. Historic races like the Beldame, the Jockey Club Gold Cup, the Vosburgh, apparently they don't mean anything that much anymore. Well, we didn't get a tremendous field this year, but what we did get is a very competitive field. And now with Volatile out, who says that any of these horses can't excel at Keeneland and run well there? Who knows? That Vosburgh last year, I just want to quickly mention, I was in the stands for that race. I made a straight exacta Firenze Fire over Imperial Hint. When I saw Firenze Fire go by at the 8th pole, I was thinking, oh my god, he's finally going to win another grade 1. Because he won the Champagne, but he didn't win it. He hasn't won another one after that. And freaking Imperial Hint comes back, and I had to clap for both of them after the race, as they both got ovations after they came back. It was a really cool moment. Great race. You need to check it out if you haven't. So this year we have a field of 6, very competitive field. Nobody's above 8-1. Let's take a look at him. And number 1 is a hard trier named True Timber, who always runs an honest race but barely wins. I'd imagine Kendrick with this horse will probably be close on or near the lead, especially without uh, many other horses in here seeming to want to go to the lead. I'm not thrilled with 9-2, and the move to Keeneland, I get that's where Sisterson is, and then comes back for this race. It's a little weird. I'd be more interested with him in the Cigar Mile, as he's been running great in that race the last 2 years. Sammy, what do you think about True Timber?
I just He just doesn't win. I feel like he's always right there. He's a hard trier, and it looks like they wanted to try him sprinting because he was routing, and then they go with Jack Sisterson. But I just don't understand. Do they not have anybody at Belmont for him to train? Like, I don't understand why ship him back just to ship him back to New York. Ship him to Keeneland and then you ship him back. I
Yeah,
just
he
don't
he
understand it.
did he did run at Keeneland in that short July meet, and he
Hmm.
got beat there in an allowance race.
By
An
CZ
allowance race
Rocket.
for a lot of money, but still he didn't run that good in there. Came back in the forego and ran pretty good in the slop, but and he was right on that fast pace too. We should mention that, but he just hasn't had his picture taken in forever. Like I said, you may as well just use him on the bottom of your exacta or
I
your
don't even know when
triple
his last
in
win
the
was.
cigar. Yeah, I have
Let me
no
look.
idea.
I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, maybe you should. In the meantime, I'll move on to number 2, Funny Guy, who's turned back the last two starts to 7 furlongs, now goes even shorter, back to 6 furlongs. I never gave him credit in the forego. I did not like him going into the race. I thought he'd be a short price that you could try to beat, and he actually wound up going off as the favorite, which kind of shocked me in there.
I can't believe it. He was the favorite. I was surprised
He's
too.
a very lukewarm favorite in there, but he was the favorite nonetheless, and ran pretty well. He wasn't that far off that fast pace. Kind of finished evenly, beaten 2.5 lengths by win. I'm not sure how this race really sets up for him, as he's not going to be close to the pace early, I'd imagine. He was close to the pace in the NYRA, but that was a pretty... the class of that race is nowhere near this race, so he could have an easier time getting to the front. There's two horses in here, the 1 and the 4, that you'd imagine are going to be close up to the pace. And there's something I didn't mention yet, and I'm very upset I didn't. The 6 furlong races at Belmont over these last 5 first days of the meet, as we're recording this on Friday the 25th, the day before the Vosburgh. 6 furlong races, if you're not 1-2, it's just like on the inner turf with the 6 furlong races. If you're not up close to the pace, you just do not have a chance to win. It is ridiculous. A horse closed from a little far back, not moderately far back, to get second in the 6th race today, which was just run about 20 minutes ago. But otherwise, you want to be up near the lead in these kinds of races. 5-2 is also too short. Did you get True Timber's last win, Sammy?
His last win was over 2 years ago on September 16th, 2018, an allowance at Belmont.
Yeah, I just can't
That
touch
was
that.
a 6 furlong distance, and he won by a neck.
What are your thoughts on Funny Guy?
Funny Guy, one thing is, I don't know, do you think he's going to need a setup? And I don't know if he's going to get it in a 6-horse field.
That's what I just told you about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see it happening unless
Yeah, I agree.
the strategy changes and Joel puts him up near the front, which wouldn't totally
Good.
shock me, but in these sprint races, Joel tends to pull his Joel move and come from too far behind. He was a little bit more attentive today, and it helped him. So maybe he does that on this horse, but he's never really run like that consistently. And the price is obviously not good.
Yeah, the price from 5-2 on this horse, I feel like he's just not really proven so far outside of New York Company. I get his 4th place in the forego, but he pretty much got the position and settled where he wanted to.
Like I said, he kind of ran evenly in there, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't overly impressed. He did run better than I thought he was going to run, but not overly impressive.
And I think he's also never ran at this distance, and I just think that might be a tiny bit short for him. 6 furlong distance.
Yeah, that's true. If he did run 6 furlongs, it was a while ago.
He's never ran 6 furlongs in his life.
Okay, there you go. Number 3 is Stan the Man, who to me is kind of interesting in here. He got a good setup last time in the Tail of the Cat. It wasn't his best effort, but some of the figs behind that, back in the running line, kind of make him pretty competitive in here. And maybe this is just because Johnny is not taking that many mounts anymore, but the fact that Velasquez hops up here is a good sign. He's not going to be riding bums. Whatever Johnny V is now, whatever age he is, I think he's 48, 49 now, right? So
I believe so.
Yeah, he's not hopping on garbage. And this horse, like I said, he's got some back races that are okay. Shouldn't be too far behind in here. Kind of maybe inside of Firenze Fire. Now, maybe I
think he'll be right on the lead. I think he'll be right up there.
Okay, I don't, but I wouldn't be totally shocked, because this is a race that's crying out for definitive speed. Because we have some horses like the 1 and 4 who you would think they're going to go, but stupider things have happened. And I would imagine this horse will be either third or fourth early on, just behind the 1 and the 4 with Firenze Fire to the outside. That's me. But if Johnny feels like, you know what, my only chance here is to go, then let Johnny dictate that. I'm going to include him as a live long shot.
I agree. He's also I John Terranova. He's actually done a very good job. He got this horse back into his form off the layoff, and he ran very nice in True North, second to Firenze Fire, who's also in this race. And then he came off the pace in the Tail of the Cat. Is it Tail of the Cat or Tail the Cat?
Tell the cat.
Yeah, I was just making sure. Rosario gave him a good trip, but like what you said, John Velasquez, especially after that Derby win, even before, he's 49. He's not going to say, uh, he's not going to be 25-year-old John Velasquez and hopping on 50-1 long shots again for every race, or whatever he rode, 15-1, like bums, like you said.
Yeah,
I think he's also, yeah.
Terranova also. His numbers for sprints, just in general, he's
Very strong.
19% from 286
Yep.
starts with a 26-cent positive 26-cent ROI or 226 ROI. That is tremendous and something I never even noticed until just right now.
And also in the Tail of the Cat, also give him props. He was 6 wide, and he came and he just cleared them. I get it's a 5-horse field, but that's very strong.
Yeah, it was a fast pace. Like I said, I
Yeah.
personally wasn't overly impressed, but he runs these big races sometimes, and one of those races will put him close.
Yeah, maybe that race will be here. Also, an interesting note is I know he ran sixth in the stymie, but he was 5-2 against Vino Rosso in the same race. We all know that Vino Rosso came back to win the Breeders' Cup Classic. That doesn't mean much, but he was 5-2 against Vino Rosso.
Yeah, so obviously people thought highly of him at some point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did.
All right, let's move on to number 4, Share the Ride, trained by Antonio Arriaga. Manny Franco picks up the mount here, as obviously they're not going to have any out-of-town jockeys come to Belmont. This horse, to me, is completely interesting.
I
Arriaga,
also agree.
Arriaga is 22% with shippers. This horse ran just 2 weeks ago at Monmouth and did something he never really did before, which is go to the front and wire a field. Did it at a nice price, too, with Farron Peterson. Obviously, she's been doing great down at Monmouth. The pace wasn't that slow either, 22-2, 44-4. This horse ran a huge race, is the highest last Brisnet fig here. This horse, to me, if he gets to the front, this horse is going to be dangerous. And if you're Manny Franco, and obviously he's looking to see what this horse did before, how do you not go to the front in this race where there's nobody that's really certain to go to the front? I get this horse only one time in the last 12 has gone to the front, but why wouldn't you do it again if it worked?
I agree. Like you could throw out the two turf races before then, but even that wasn't even terrible. And this horse comes off a 1 week layoff, off a turf race, and smokes them in the Mr. Prospector. 3.25 lengths, gate to wire, and beat not a bad field and a strong time of 109, 5 furlongs, and 56. Very strong times.
Yeah,
And
I was impressed by this horse's last race. I actually went back and watched it too. Was very happy with it. Let's see if there's anything else I want to mention here. Uh, yeah, no, I don't think I have anything else. Number 5 is my boy Firenze Fire. Full disclosure, I want this horse to win. I want this horse to win so bad. And believe it or not, it's not even as much as it should have been because I really wanted this horse to win another grade 1. And then, obviously, the downgrade happened. We talked about all that at the beginning of today's episode. I'm throwing out the last 2 Saratoga races. He hates the mud, and if you look at Trackers, he actually ran the best race in the Vanderbilt. If you look at the ground loss, and he only got beat 2 1/4. He loves Belmont. this is not a tremendously difficult race. If you
No.
get 7-2 on the morning line, this is a gift. I think a lot of other people are going to see what I'm seeing, and I think this horse might go down to as little as 5-2. Now, obviously, at that price, he's probably not a win candidate, but I've been confident in Firenze Fire winning before, and I've been wrong. The last time I was really confident, which was the True North, where he did win. Didn't win all too impressively, but came back with a pretty decent effort. You shouldn't be scared of anybody in here, and he shouldn't be that far behind. I know he was way behind in the Forgo, but that was with the track. This is a horse that could be pretty close to the front. I think he'll be sitting third or fourth on the outside, and if he gets that clear run just like he did in the True North, I think this sets up perfectly for him. And I love him getting Jose Lezcano, too, who's one of the smartest pace riders we have at NYRA. If he sees something going real slow, he'll be more aggressive. I love this horse on Saturday. I don't know if you really want to bet him because of the price, but I really think this horse is going to win.
Can't say anything wrong about him. And also, he's won with Jose Lezcano. If you look back in the Gravesend.
As at Aqueduct, yeah.
Yeah, but I was a little concerned after the Carter. I thought it was running April again because he used to be running Accra. So never mind. But but then he backed it up in the True North, and I don't think this horse. I think this horse is just a different animal at Belmont.
And you know he's going to get a fast track on
Yeah.
Saturday. There's no rain in the forecast. They
And
shouldn't have to be worried about it.
I feel like the dirt track has been more played to like the middle of the track. What about?
I disagree. I think it's been a little bit more helpful down towards the inside. I don't think it's been really an inside-outside thing, though, that much. I think it's more been a function of where you are. I think he's good enough to catch those two horses that might be out in front, the 1 and the 4. I'm not really
I
too
do.
worried about the track bias in this situation as far as him, because I don't think he's going to be that far behind. Horses like the 2 and the 6, I'm worried about. Funny Guy and Engage. Those are the two I'm worried about, as they're the two morning line favorites, and they're more likely to be coming from further behind.
Yeah. If you want, we could get on the 6.
Yeah, and speaking of the 6, that's Engage, who, for his last 3 starts, has been trained by Steve Asmussen. And this horse hasn't run since the Breeders' Cup Sprint last year. He
Ten
won,
and a half months.
yes, 10.5 months. He won 2 races, both by a half a length with Steve last year. One at Parks and one at Keeneland. 2-1 in here, really?
I was very surprised, and if you look at his past performances, when he was with Chad Brown, he didn't run anything off the layoff. They even put him down to an allowance, and couldn't run better than Ford.
Yeah, I don't understand the hype here. Just because he ran good in the
He's coming off
Breeders' Cup
10 and a
Sprint that
half
kind of
months.
set up for him.
There was only 8 horses, so he pretty much only beat 4.
Yeah, I don't love
I
this
don't
horse at
understand it.
all. I actually completely throw him out, which
I'm gonna let him beat me.
yeah, I get it. Steve Asmussen, sprinter. The year he's had with
Jose.
sprinters is nuts, but this horse has never been great.
No.
And his best figs, somebody can still beat him in here, even if he
Yeah.
runs his best figs. I mean,
The
you
the
really have to be betting on the Asmussen angle to think this horse is a good bet at 2-1.
the 4. I think 4 runs his last race. He's gonna smoke Engage.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. And Engage is
Forensic
not going to
Fire.
be close to the front. You'd expect
Yeah.
this horse to
Closer
be
too.
second to last or last. Now, like we've been talking about this whole episode, we don't know what the pace scenario is going to be. It could be really weird. We don't know for sure where people are going to be. I'm just speculating the order that I told you. I think it'll be 1-4, 4-1, and then the 5 on the outside with the 3 sitting behind in third or fourth, and then the 2 and the 6 coming from second to last and last. But we don't know that for sure. But based on what we think and what makes sense on paper, this horse is going to be at a disadvantage, especially when the paces of these 6 furlong races, you've been seeing opening quarter miles of 23 seconds flat.
I don't understand with Engage. I just don't like him. There's better options and better value than he's 8-1. There's a difference, but 2-1. If Forensic Fire runs his true north, he's gonna win or
Right.
beat him. The
And if
four's
the
gonna
4
beat
runs
him.
his last race, he's going to win.
The
Yeah,
three's gonna be right with him. The the two, same thing. All these horses are right with him, and they pretty much look all like they should be 2-1. If the 6 is 2-1.
yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say I would not be surprised if Engage finishes last. Would not be surprised. I don't think it's going to happen. I probably think True Timber will finish last, but Jesus, if you're taking 2-1 on this horse, man, I really, God bless you. All right,
Yeah.
let's move on to our picks here. I'm going with Forensic Fire, obviously. This is a bit of a sentimental pick, but it's really not, because if I saw this race, I would have picked him regardless, just based off of the history at Belmont. I think the 6 furlongs is just fine for him, and the trip he's going to get is probably going to be golden. I want that 4 in second. I'm going to play a nice 4-5 exacta box in this race. Full disclosure, that's my bet in here. Share the ride. Why wouldn't you do the same thing you did last time? This horse ran great. Hasn't had a work since that last race, but it's only been 2 weeks. I'm not worried about that at all. I'm not really worried about the bounce either because of Arriaga's record with shippers. I like Funny Guy for third, who I didn't give any respect last time. I'm going to give him more respect now. And then Stan the Man, like I mentioned earlier. I think a good live long shot as the longest shot on the morning line. Ran good his last 2 races, especially in the True North, where he finished second to Forensic Fire. Sammy, what do you got?
I got Share Ride in first. I'm gonna take the. I like the price at 6-1. Forensic Fire for second. I I probably think Forensic Fire is gonna win, but I'm gonna take the longer price with the 4. For third, I'm gonna have Dan the Man. I think he has a good chance of coming third. And for fourth, I'm gonna have Funny Guy.
All right, so we all, both of us believe in the same 4 horses in here. Hopefully it'll be a nice race. I'll certainly be watching. I'll try to balance watching the race and barbecuing at the same time. Those are my plans. As far as a Preakness video, here's the thing. I'm going to be very busy later next week. However, it just works out that me and me might both be free on Monday right after the Preakness is drawn, and we might have a Preakness video up very early next week. Whether it be Monday, Tuesday morning, whenever it finally comes out. But it'll probably be recorded on Monday. I wasn't actually planning on doing one, but it looks like that we might be able to. And unfortunately, I won't be able to do previews for the Belmont Derby or the Joe Hurst Turf Classic or any of the races at Belmont next weekend. It just doesn't work out with what I'm doing. I'm going to Pennsylvania that weekend for kayaking. I'll probably be watching the Preakness in a booth at a restaurant on my phone. So that'll be interesting. That's pretty much where I watched the Travers this year, too. But that's fine because it's 2020. Sammy, anything else you have to say?
Good luck this weekend, everybody. Stay
Yep.
safe.
Good luck. Stay well. And don't forget, pay your bills first. And we'll see you soon.